Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel, and today in this video we are going to handle the creation of an estimate in this application. Well, if you are new to this series, what we have done so far is created an application which is integrated with GitLab, so you can have projects where the issues are automatically being synced from GitLab whenever you are creating or commenting on them. And then we have a different layer in our application where you can work with deliveries, estimates. You can see how much time is being spent on individual tickets by going into this time tracker kind of stuff, which will help you manage your project better. So if you have been following this series so far, and if you like this, I would definitely recommend you to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you haven't already done that. So well, with all the promotions in place, let's start with the creation of the estimate create form. Now, because this is a test driven development, the first thing that we will do is open up my page response test, and I'm going to define that I'm expecting a status code of 200 from the create page. Now, what are we going to do over here? I need a project and I need a delivery. So I'll just steal this code. Actually, I can take it till this point, copy paste in here, and then I will expect that I'll make a get route. Wow, I have significant amount of auto completion. So what it says is I'm going to make a get request to the estimates.create route. I need to send the project and the delivery as a route, and I'm expecting that it returns me a status code of 200. Now obviously this is going to fail because we haven't created that. I'll go to my web.php. We have routes for delivery. What I will do is in here, after delivery, I'll have this kind of a route. For now, I'm expecting only the create, store, and index. And obviously I need a controller for this. So yes, this is done. And now if I run my test, it passes. Because in this particular test case, I'm only expecting a status code of 200, which basically means it goes to this page, and because nothing is breaking, it gives me a status code of 200, which is not bad. But then what about the next step, which is looking at the actual form? Well, for that we will have our next test. So I'll create a new test called page estimate create. And in here, we will first test our happy path, which is it adds an estimate with proper data. I'll open up my previous test and copy a little bit of code from here. Now I also need the data which will be sent. All right, so I have this mock data. Now what I want to do is make a post call to the route estimates.store with the data, but obviously I'll need a little more on this route, which is I need to pass the project first and then the delivery. Once this is done, I would assert a redirect route, which basically means that once it is created, I expect it to go to the index page. Again, the autocomplete comes into help. I'm passing these two parameters, but then I'm just asserting the redirect over here. What I also want to assert is that the record actually got created. So Assert. First, I'll have a database count that the estimate has a count of 1. Okay. And maybe then I'll assert that my database has in the estimates table first the data. So this is a where clause. So I'm expecting that I have an estimate where I have a title equals this, description this, estimate hours equals this, and additionally, to make it complete, I will have the project ID and the delivery ID. This will definitely assert that this is the exact record we are talking about. Now, obviously, this is going to fail because we haven't written any code. So, how do we do that? So, let's go to a controller. In the create, we'll have estimate equals new estimate because I'm looking at a form which, like our previous delivery form, we will be reusing the form blade file. So what I will do is have this model being passed over there, return a view. The view will be pages dot estimates dot create, and I'm not going to do a compact. I would rather use with the estimate. I need to pass the project, which I am going to inject, and I'm going to inject the delivery as well. This is returning a view, so I'll just type hint that as well. So we have project and we have delivery. All right, so let's create the view. So my controller is passing these 3 things to this particular view, and in here I'll have a little bit of code, obviously. So I already had the blade file, and I'll just copy paste those things so that I'm not spending too much time just writing the blade components. But obviously we can look at the page how this is created. So I have deliveries, and I think I can do 1 and then estimate create. So this is my form. Add an estimate to the delivery for GitLab MVP. I'm taking the estimate title, the description, and the hours. So this is my create page. However, I need to handle the post. So I'll go over here. The first thing that I will do is, instead of this request, I will have my custom request class, which is specifically for estimate. Now, one thing that I forgot to add was estimated hours. That needs to be a required field. It needs to be numeric, and it needs to be minimum 1. Okay, so this is one change which I have done. All right, now the first thing is we will create the estimate. In here I need to get everything which is coming from the request validated. Validated basically means that we have this request class, so the request will go to this particular request class, go through the validation, and whatever is the data that got validated, we get that over here. Additionally, we need to pass the project ID and the delivery ID. For that, first I will get them over here injected, and then project ID, delivery ID. Obviously, this type hinting is working like magic, so saving a lot of time. Oops, redirect to route. Sorry, estimate index project ID. Delivery ID, yes. Everything is kind of getting created automatically. It is reading my code and doing most of the things almost perfect. What is this? It is a redirect response, so I'll just add that as well. Okay. Now, if everything is done correctly, we have written a lot of code. Let's run our test case and see. Okay. Route not found exception. Wow. So this is projects, one deliveries, one estimates. I have my index. Let me look at the terminal. So it says that this route is not defined. Let's look at the route list. Maybe that would help us. Yeah. So we have projects, deliveries, estimates, create, estimates.create. Oops. Let me run that test again. So is it making a post request to this particular class or rather that URL? Estimates.store. Okay, let me for some time just make this post call. Okay, now it is saying that it didn't create or it didn't found. It doesn't find that entry. Line 29. So what is happening? Estimates controller store. I'm making a post request redirecting to localhost. So this is, I think it is going through some validation error. If I come over here, right, I know what is the problem. I'm sending this data. In the request, I'm doing these three fields which are actually not being sent. And that was the reason it was failing. So let me get this back and now run. Okay, again I'll keep this outside, and now at least I'm able to assert that the records are getting created. I'm just not sure why the redirection is not working. So let's look at that, because I am redirecting to that particular route. So I'm redirecting to estimates.index. Okay, over here I received a 500. Now that's a new error, which is good. Let me understand what could be the reason. Assert redirect to route. Estimates.index. What do I have over here? Estimates.index. I'm sending the project and the delivery, which is kind of fine. I wonder if it has anything to do with the type hint response that I have given. I don't know. If this doesn't work, I mean, I'll look at that particular thing later on. Okay, fine. So yeah, I think we are able to assert that when I make a proper request, the record is getting created. So we can start with that. I don't know why that particular redirection test is not passing. We can look at that later. And typically when our happy path is kind of done, right, the rest of the tests are pretty straightforward. The first test that, the second test will be, I will ensure that all necessary fields are required. So I need these two for my route. I need a user so that it is authenticated. And then I'll make a post call with an empty array, and I will assert session has errors. How do I do that? I'll assert that I have a title and estimated hours in the session as a error property. Now let me run this, and obviously it is going to pass because our validations are in place. And the third test that I will need to write is that the estimated hours should be number. So again, I'll copy this. I'll need the data property as well. Only thing is, over here I'll have ASDF. Let's make the post call. Pass this data. And now I'm just expecting the estimated hours. And yeah, we are good. So running all the tests, we have 129 tests with 227 assertions. And now that we have done so many things, why don't we look at adding an estimate? So I'm going to say, what can we create? Estimate for generating reports, maybe generating reports for project wise time spent, maybe 40 hours, I don't know. Okay, and now this is failing. Okay, this is the reason why missing required parameters for estimate index. It is not getting the, oh yeah, I think the autocomplete got it wrong. I should have looked at that. Let me see. Yeah, it doesn't have any effect, but obviously now if I refresh, it will create two entries, but it didn't. Oh yes, it did take me to the listing page. If I go to my database, inside my estimate, I have these two entries which got created just now. I'll just delete them because they are not really important, but yeah, I showed you from a demo perspective. One more, oops, 30, and we are on the listing page, and this is getting added, right? So this is what I wanted to cover in this video. In the next video, we will obviously create the listing page, which is going to be pretty straightforward, but yeah, that's about it. So if you like this video so far and the series, then do hit the thumbs up icon, do subscribe to my channel, and at any point if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me through the comment section below, or you can also just join my Discord channel and discuss on things.